Emma Kline wasn't naive. She was cautious, even guarded. But she was also human. 32, recently single, and a little lonely. After 6 months of grieving a relationship that ended in mutual exhaustion, she finally felt ready to start over. And like most people her age, that meant downloading a dating app. His name was Daniel, or at least, that's what the app said. He wasn't the usual flood of shirtless selfies and tired pickup lines. His photos were tasteful, one at a bookstore, another at a vineyard, and a third with a dog that Emma guessed was probably borrowed. His bio read, red wine, Murakami novels, and late-night conversations. Let's skip the small talk. It was different. Clever. They chatted that evening. He asked thoughtful questions. Didn't rush to meet. But by night's end, he offered to grab a glass of wine at a cozy little spot no one really knows about. She hesitated, then agreed. By 9 p.m., they were laughing over Pinot Noir at Marlowe's Wine Bar in East Atlanta. Emma thought, he listens. That's rare. He never interrupted. He leaned forward when she spoke. He asked about her favorite books, her career as a high school English teacher, even her dog. They took a walk after, just around the block. The night air was warm, humming with cicadas and distant music. He offered to walk her home. She didn't see the harm. By 10:34 p.m., neighbors would report a scream. By 10:47 p.m., Emma was dead. Her body was found the next morning, sprawled in her living room. The scene was clean. No forced entry. No fingerprints. Nothing stolen. 2 wine glasses on the counter. One still half full. Detective Alicia Vega had worked homicide for 12 years. She'd seen open wounds, open secrets, and open caskets. But this case felt deliberate, surgical, a predator hiding behind a profile picture. Emma wasn't the first. That's what bothered Vega most. 3 weeks earlier, Heather Myers, a paralegal in Midtown, had been found with a similar throat wound. The case was closed as a suicide until Vega pulled the autopsy. Same angle, same depth, same efficiency. Then came Julia Banks. Same method, same demographic, same dating app. Vega had a serial killer, a predator using charm and algorithms to select his victims. All brunettes, all between 28 and 35, all described as warm, kind, and trusting by their friends. The press ran with it, the Tinder Reaper. Vega hated the name, but she hated what came next more, another murder. Lila Torres was 28, an art student who paid her rent by waitressing late nights at a hip downtown cafe. She was shy, solitary, and rarely dated. But when a friend pushed her to try the dating app, she gave in. She swiped, half distracted, until she landed on Eli. He was a trauma nurse, he said. Smart, witty, safe. He asked about her art, her favorite painters, her dreams. They talked for 2 days before making plans to meet on a Friday night. That same day, Detective Vega traced Emma's dating app match to a burner number registered to a man named Eli Watterson. It didn't exist, just like Daniel hadn't. The pattern was clear. Each identity lasted a week, just long enough to hunt. Vega called Lila's phone. No answer. She rushed to her apartment. The doorman said she'd already left for her date. Vega made a decision that went against protocol. She called in a favor, an old cyber forensics expert she trusted, Jacob Merritt. He rebuilt Emma's last texts, reconstructed deleted metadata from Julia's backup, and unearthed one blurry selfie taken by Heather. The same man, in all cases. One face, different names. They pushed the photo to facial recognition software. It pinged on an old university ID, Ryan Kavanaugh, former med student, disappeared in 2019 after being expelled for inappropriate conduct during a rotation. Accused of assault. Never charged. His records ended there. Vega looked deeper. She found a rental unit paid through a shell company. She and Jacob entered with a warrant. Inside, wigs, phones, fake IDs, journals detailing each woman, their fears, their dreams, how he mimicked their preferences. But the most chilling thing? A photo pinned to the wall. Lila. Lila sat in a candlelit restaurant in West End. She was early. Eli texted he'd be 5 minutes late. When he arrived, he wore a soft smile and held a bouquet of tulips. He was charming, safe, but something felt off, too perfect. They talked. He leaned in. He didn't blink enough. I'd love to see your artwork sometime, he said. You can, Lila replied. Actually, I brought something. She pulled a small sketch from her bag, except It wasn't her art. It was a printed screenshot. A photo of Eli from the news. The wanted alert Detective Vega had released hours earlier. His expression changed. Before he could stand, four plainclothes officers surrounded the table. Interrogation revealed cracks. His name was Ryan, yes, but he no longer claimed identity. He was whoever they wanted. He said women needed to be understood, and he was the one who listened. But when asked why he killed them, he smiled and said, "They trusted me." That's the most intimate thing a person can do. Vega asked why the similarities, the looks, the personalities, the backgrounds. He looked up, dead-eyed. They all reminded me of her. Her? My mother. She was brunette, sweet, kind. She left him when he was 12. Said she'd be back. Never came. Vega thought it was over. Ryan was in custody. Public panic eased. The apps issued statements. But a week later, a new body was found. Same kill signature. Same entry wounds. But Ryan was still in a cell. The media speculated, copycat. But Vega found a letter in Ryan's cell. It wasn't addressed to anyone. It just read, "You can't stop an idea. I was the first, but I'm not the only one." Then came the news. 2 more deaths. Different states. Same method. Same fake profiles. The truth crashed down. Ryan hadn't acted alone. Ryan had died in a prison riot, stabbed in the neck with a sharpened toothbrush. But even in death, he was orchestrating chaos. The same week the note was discovered. 2 more women were found dead in other states, New Jersey and Arizona. Both had been on dating apps. Both were brunette, early 30s. Both had been described as sweet, kind, trusting. Same signature, same wound, same vanished killer. It was happening again, but this time it was spreading. Jacob Merritt didn't believe in monsters until he found the Harvest Room. It wasn't just a forum. It was a movement, using encrypted browsers and invitation-only servers. Men from all over the world logged into a digital lair where identities didn't matter. Only tactics did. They shared scripts, pacing, how to earn trust, how to isolate, how to kill cleanly and vanish. Ryan hadn't just inspired them, he trained them. He was their messiah. The group had splintered after his arrest. But now, they were back online, posting again, recruiting, and worse, adapting. Vegas sat in a war room now. FBI cybercrime was on board. So was Homeland Security. They reviewed 112 flag profiles. Different names, different states, same template, all using photos of real men, some stolen, some AI-generated. Their bios were slight variations of Ryan's original. Lover of art, long walks and honesty. Let's skip the small talk. 6 more women were missing by the time the task force caught up. 3 were already dead. One of them, Rebecca Monroe, had tried to call 911 mid-date. Her phone disconnected before the address could be traced. They found her in a motel bathtub, face down, eyes open. And this time, the killer left a note too. "We are the evolution. You're still playing catch-up." Alicia Vega was unraveling. She didn't sleep, didn't eat. She haunted the war room, staring at screens filled with smiling women, each marked by timestamps counting down from their last message. She started carrying a sketch of Ryan's face, not as a lead, as a reminder. This wasn't just murder. This was infection, a virus spreading through trust, through kindness, through loneliness. The press now called them the Harvest Men. Vega called them cowards. But they were smart, faster than law enforcement. Their digital trails evaporated before they were made. They were training each other, how to blend, how to disappear. And then came the case that broke her. The victim's name was Elena Vega, her niece. She was 26, a nurse, smart, cautious, but she'd been lonely, quiet about it. Her phone was found on the floor of her apartment, a half-finished glass of wine on the counter, and next to it, a burner phone. Her date had claimed to be a software engineer, said he was just passing through. The name? Jared. Vega read the texts with shaking hands. She watched as her niece's replies turned, from light jokes to flirtation, to agreement. The last message, "Buzz me up when you're outside." There were no signs of struggle, no forced entry, just the same cold execution. Her body was found 2 days later, in the same position as Emma Kline. The pain split Vega in two. Vega stopped going to briefings. She worked from a cold storage unit outside the city, where she and Jacob built an off-grid server to trace the Harvest Room themselves. They posed as new recruits. They got in. The forum was worse than they imagined. Hundreds of profiles. Real-time posts. Some streamed video. Others shared kill ratings with categories: clean, emotional, fast, personal. They operated in cells, each with a leader, each obsessed with perfecting the process. And one user posted every day, short messages, always with a red tulip emoji. His username, Firstborn. Jacob tracked the IP to a masked relay point. No origin, but the content of his posts were specific: dates, cities, habits. Each post correlated with a murder 48 hours later. They needed bait. Lila Torres volunteered. She'd been training ever since the arrest. She carried a wire, wore a panic pin in her shoe, and memorized every protocol. They posted her profile on a new app under a fake name. The bio was crafted with traits to harvest: room preferred, kind, quiet, recently heartbroken. Within 3 days, she had a match. His profile was clean, his messages subtle, but his syntax? It matched Firstborn. They set the date. A rooftop bar in Charleston. Lila looked calm, but her heart pounded in her ears. He arrived, tall, confident, with a black blazer and a slow, easy smile. He brought no flowers, just charm. They drank, talked art, travel, books. Everything he said was tailored, crafted to make her feel seen. He leaned in when she spoke. He echoed her phrases. He asked about her childhood. It was like looking at a machine wearing skin. As he reached to touch her hand, she pressed her heel into the panic pin. The bar was swarmed within seconds. Plainclothes agents, snipers, backup teams. He didn't fight. He laughed. As they cuffed him, he whispered, "You're too late." His phone, once unlocked, revealed the worst. A mass message sent to hundreds of anonymous users. Begin harvest. Phase 2. We are not alone. Over the next month, 43 arrests were made in 12 states. But the harvest room didn't die. It fragmented, mutated. Now it existed in pieces, on hidden drives, on code phrases exchanged in forums about dating, loneliness, and love. The apps implemented stronger safety features, background checks, flagging systems. But predators adapted. They always do. Lila never went back to art. She became a cybersecurity advisor for a nonprofit, focused on digital stalking and online predators. She traveled. She spoke. She warned. She also slept with a gun under her bed. Alicia Vega retired, moved to a cabin in Oregon. She never answered media requests, never gave interviews. But one day, she left a file at the FBI's doorstep. No note, no fingerprints. Inside was a flash drive, hundreds of screenshots, usernames, dates. Alicia Vega had been praised. The headlines read, "Serial Killer Caught, the Tinder Reaper Behind Bars." She stood before press cameras with cold certainty, declaring the city safe again. But deep inside, she knew. It was too clean, too easy. Ryan Kavanaugh had been one man. Calculated, methodical, obsessed. But he was also proud. He had wanted to be caught. He wanted to be seen. And now that he was, Alicia had expected silence. But it didn't come. Instead, it came back louder, smarter, more vicious. It started with a woman named Caroline Lenz, 34, a software consultant, found dead in her Denver apartment. Throat slit, no forced entry, no defensive wounds, 2 wine glasses on the table. The city hadn't seen a murder like that since Ryan's arrest. And yet here it was, same signature, same ritualistic stillness in the aftermath. Ryan was locked in a concrete cell 900 miles away. And yet, somehow, his hand still seemed to reach beyond bars. That night, Alicia couldn't sleep. She reopened Ryan's cell. There, on the metal desk, folded perfectly, a single piece of paper. "You can't stop an idea. I was the first, but I'm not the only one." Jacob Merritt didn't speak for a long time when Alicia showed him the letter. Then he said 4 words that changed the entire investigation. He started a cult. Not a religious cult, a digital one, born in the cracks of forgotten forums, buried behind encryption and burner accounts. Jacob called it the Harvest Room, a dark web forum where Ryan had posted under the name Firstborn. He had left notes, strategies, even training guides for other men, step-by-step breakdowns on how to mirror, mimic, and murder. It was an ideology, a manual, a virus. Alicia had spent her life chasing killers with clear motives: jealousy, rage, greed. But now she was hunting belief. Lila Torres had spent the last year rebuilding her life. Therapy, public speaking, a foundation for dating app safety. She thought she was healing until she saw Caroline's story on the news. The same glass of wine, the same echo of her own near death. And then she got the message. It came through her private foundation email. No subject line, no signature, just a photo of her sitting at a cafe from 2 days earlier. And one word, still. Still alive, still watched, still hunted. She left the city that night. Over the next 2 months, 5 more women were murdered across the country, all in their early 30s, all brunette, all described as kind and genuine by friends. All had recently matched with someone on a dating app. No fingerprints, no DNA, no witnesses. But one message appeared on a buried discussion thread online, signed anonymously. We've started harvesting, and this time, we won't stop at 7. Alicia met with FBI behavioral analysts. These weren't just copycats. They were cells, organized, evolving. Each one adjusted the playbook slightly. Some used burner numbers, others used voice changers. A few operated in teams, luring, grooming, disposing. The harvest room had splintered into subforums with names like Petals, Echoes, and Chalice. And still, they grew, each one pledging to finish what Firstborn started, to cleanse what they called the emotional noise of modern women. Alicia stared at a screen filled with usernames, and for the first time in her career, she felt afraid. One day, a message appeared on Jacob's secure server. I was part of them. I want out. It came from a user named Red Crane. He claimed to be a defector, someone who had trained under the harvest ideology, had even gone on one hunt, but couldn't follow through. He had screenshots, internal chat logs. He offered names, but he only wanted to speak to Alicia. They met at a remote cabin in Minnesota. He was young, maybe 25, shaking, pale. He told her they were building something called Phase 3. When she asked what that meant, his eyes welled up. It's not just women anymore. They're planning to punish anyone who protects them. And then, 2 days later, he was found hanging in a motel bathroom. The word liar carved into his chest. Lila came out of hiding. She wanted to help stop it, to bait them, to bring the movement down. The team built her a new identity, a curated dating profile, and linked it to a burner server monitored by federal agents. Within a week, she got a match. A new man, clean profile, soft smile, dog in the photo, bio, I don't chase. Real connections find their way to me. His name was Owen. Lila agreed to meet him. She wore a panic tracker. The cafe was wired. 4 agents were stationed inside. But when Owen arrived, it wasn't just one man. It was 3, and they weren't there to charm her. They didn't attack in the cafe. They were smarter than that. But they followed her, waited for her to go to her car. Then one of them whispered in her ear, "We remember you. Lila, you were supposed to be first." The agents arrested all 3 on the spot. Inside their phones, maps, burner sims, and a manifesto titled Phase 3 Protocol. One line repeated over and over. Pain is a lesson. Love is a lie. Trust is the weakness. A week after the arrests, a video was uploaded anonymously to the dark web. A man, masked, speaking directly to the camera. You can silence 1, arrest 3, kill 10, but ideas can't be cuffed. Phase 3 is still coming. For every profile you delete, we'll make 2 more. For every woman you warn, we'll find another who won't listen. This isn't murder. It's correction. The video was taken down within minutes, but it had already been downloaded, shared, worshipped. Alicia was removed from the task force. Too close, too emotional, too personal. She didn't fight it. Instead, she disappeared. No one heard from her for months, until a man named Anthony Pike, a known harvest room recruiter, was found beaten unconscious outside a motel in Arkansas. In his wallet, a photo of Alicia Vega's niece, and a message scribbled in red ink. She wasn't yours to list. The world kept spinning. Apps updated their safety protocols. Podcasts dissected the Tinder Reaper case. Lila wrote a book, but the darkness didn't stop. It just got smarter. Now the predators didn't chase you. They let you come to them. They watched you post, studied what you liked, mirrored your beliefs. Then they waited. And when the door opened, they walked in, with a smile, with wine, with a name they made up just for you. In a quiet apartment in New York City, a woman sits alone at her kitchen table. She's smiling at her phone, replying to someone named Graham. They have plans to meet Friday. He says he's a teacher, says he loves the same poetry she does. She lifts her glass of red wine. clicks on his profile again. It all seems perfect, but the camera slowly pans to the window outside, and just beyond the glass, a man stands in the shadows, watching. Her name was Elise Granger, 31, graphic designer, lived alone, quiet, cautious, grew herbs on her fire escape. She'd only recently started dating again, and only with strict rules, daytime meets, public places, no one she couldn't verify. But Graham seemed different. He shared articles she liked, loved the same obscure poetry, said he taught high school English, gentle, witty, soft-spoken. And when he suggested a rooftop dinner under string lights at a private terrace restaurant, she said yes. She texted her friend minutes before meeting him. "Wish me luck. This one feels right." It was the last message she ever sent. Alicia Vega had been underground for months, off-grid, off-record. But when Elisa's face appeared on the news, found dead. Same wound, same setup, Alicia came back. Not through the police, not through the FBI, through Lila. Together, they built their own sting. Lila leaked a fake invite-only app onto the dark web, a decoy platform for elite Harvest members, promising full anonymity, exclusive targets, and a chat system mimicking the old Harvest room. They called it the Garden. Within 72 hours, over 200 users joined, and one stood out. Username, Echo Original. He was the one Ryan always referred to in code, the one who recruited Ryan in the first place. The real first. He called himself Nathan, but Jacob traced him. Real name, Dr. Gregory Pierce, a former behavioral psychology professor who vanished after being dismissed for misconduct. He had written fringe essays online about emotional manipulation as an evolutionary art. He believed love was a system, one that could be exploited, replicated, and, if necessary, purged. Ryan had been his experiment. Pierce didn't kill. He trained killers. He was the gardener. Harvest was his crop. Vega posed as a user, petal red, a lonely, 34-year-old woman looking for a real connection. She dropped signals Pierce would recognize, references to his writing, old Harvest phrases, coded language. He took the bait. They chatted for 4 days. He invited her to meet. Not in a bar, not in a cafe. He offered to cook for her. A private rooftop apartment in Brooklyn. Dinner, wine, music. Vega entered alone. No wire. No agents nearby. Only Lila and Jacob watching from a van 2 blocks away, linked to a hidden camera in her bag. The apartment was immaculate. Jazz playing low. A bottle of wine uncorked. Gregory Pierce looked harmless. Tweed jacket. Glasses. Soft voice. They talked. He complimented her taste in music. In literature. He poured the wine, and as he handed her the glass, he said, "You're not afraid of me, are you?" She smiled. "No, but you should be afraid of me." She didn't drink. She pulled her gun. Pierce didn't run. He laughed, said she was too late. That Harvest wasn't an organization anymore. It was a movement. You can kill me. You can delete accounts. But you can't stop the algorithm. Love is built on lies. I just taught people how to see it. Vega didn't flinch. She handcuffed him and walked him out as backup stormed the building. His hard drives revealed it all: videos, recruitment materials, logs, names, payments. It was the digital DNA of a machine built to prey on the human need for connection. Gregory Pierce was convicted on 17 counts of conspiracy to commit murder. The trial lasted months. He never apologized, never blinked. He spent the rest of his life in a maximum security prison, writing more manifestos that no one was allowed to publish. Lila never dated again, but she lived. She opened a center for survivors of tech-enabled abuse, taught digital self-defense, gave speeches at colleges. She built something good out of what nearly killed her. Vega refused awards, refused interviews. She walked away after the trial and left the country. Her last message to Lila read, "You can't stop the storm, but you can teach people how to see the sky change before it hits." A year passed, then 2. The dating apps got better. So did the predators. But one night, in a small town in Oregon, a young woman named Ava opened her app, matched with a man named Kline. His profile was charming, safe, and when she clicked on his second photo, she froze. Behind him on the shelf, a tulip, red, glass, just like the one Ryan Kavanaugh had on his nightstand. She deleted the app immediately, and this time, she told someone. Join our community committed to uncovering the truth behind digital threats. Subscribe now to receive the latest updates. in-depth analyses, and real stories that matter. Your awareness is the first step toward protection.